We're live.
Farts. Old farts. Two old farts. Steve and Dave. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough. Not this time, though. This is just rough. Two old farts. There is no better waste of time. Two guys. Two old guys. A lot of BS and more drivel than you can shake a stick at. Steve and Dave. God help us.
Well, every time I see that, I get so excited I nod off. So it is very cool.
Well,
It's very cool. Listen,
that's life for pensioners, Stephen.
I know. I'm not young. I'm not old enough to get a pension yet. I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
So I have to do my real job, which is my real job. I sing the national anthem at cockfights. That's how I make my living now. Yeah, other than the show.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
Well, I thought you were probably just very busy voting in the Senate, isn't it? That you're just trying to get somebody to be the speaker. I don't know. I don't understand. Why they just don't get a Bluetooth speaker and have done with it? But there you go.
I was going to say, there's some good, like Bose makes speakers. I think I know, like Rolls Royce makes those diamond something speakers. I mean, I don't know. They could use one of those as a speaker. I think that would be awesome. But it's America, so we do things a little different,
Yeah.
So we like that. And we're not in New York today, just so we're clear, because I have to make sure you get $1 from the Nigerian New York bank. So
I think there's something gone drastically wrong with my Nigerian bank account. So
I don't understand why. Okay, just checking. So I'm going to go back to being the spokesperson for New York.
Yeah, well, we're nearly there because from America to Holland, because we have a Dutch guest with us today, a cartoonist, an illustrator, a man of many talents.
Wow.
So yeah. I've put his his whole name and everything out on the ticker at the bottom, so everybody can see it, and his website. But he's I think we're just going to call him Danibal and have done with it. So good afternoon, good evening, and good morning.
Good.
There he is.
Good afternoon, evening.
I don't see anything on the ticker. Just to let you know.
Yeah, well, it's an age thing.
There we go. I'm sorry. The ticker's like you. It's old. I got it. So that's why it takes a while to get. Okay. The gerbil wasn't running. Now I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Okay.
It's Dutch Wi-Fi, so it's like
it
just happens whenever it happens.
Like South African Wi-Fi, apparently.
Oh, that explains.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have some kind of currents in our house.
Yeah. Dan, just to be totally honest, I have absolutely no idea really of the extent of your portfolio and what you do. I know you've got a great CV, which I saw on LinkedIn. I looked at very quickly, but for Stephen, a lot of the stuff, of course, was in Dutch. So tell us a little bit about yourself, mate, and and why were you mad enough to come onto this show?
Yeah, really. Were you drinking heavily before? Or?
Yeah, I liked your subtitle with your tagline. Expectations are really low.
Yes.
That's kind of my,
yes. We truly we strive to keep it right there. We don't want to go too high.
Yeah. And a lot of my work is based around improvisation. So I do a lot of music with improvisation, and a few years ago I found a way to improvise with art while doing actually doing a service for companies with live cartooning.
Okay.
And it's kind of brought back all the fun. I didn't know how to earn my money with my cartooning, and that kind of pushed me in the right direction. So now I'm doing a lot of it's not really commission. I still get to be myself, but I have to listen to what companies are saying, and I have to kind of immediately translate it to kind of visuals, and also I can tease a little and I can confront them. And it gives me a lot of space for my more free work, you could say, which is basically just drawing what I like.
Right. And
And-
so two questions. So wait, I have two
Oh,
questions.
sorry.
One,
Okay.
would you consider when you say live cartooning, would that be more like caricatures? You know, like where you draw
Well-
like, or is it more like a courtroom, if you will, where I'm drawing like there's a judge and a person or something like? So when you say live cartooning, which way are we going?
It's actually neither. Maybe
Okay.
slightly caricature, because
Okay.
you know, when you have a speaker or a keynote speaker, I kind of sketch him or his body language or something, but it's mostly about what people are saying.
Okay.
So I kind of try to reflect on that, and sometimes I kind of improvise instant. How do you call this? It's when you have, well, it's kind of a visualization of what they're actually doing, or using a metaphor or something, you know,
Right.
just like a cartoonist in a newspaper would do, but only
Gotcha.
with a spot.
I know.
Are you plugged straight into the keynote speaker then? So how does the public get to see the work if it's happening?
Well, a lot of times I kind of do a wrap up afterwards, or in the during lunchtime or something, or I don't, and then I send the artwork afterwards. But mostly I just hook up my iPad and I just start talking. It's a lot of fun, and you get to see a lot of different people and companies. I really got to know the company, the country in a different way. It's very diverse. Yeah.
And then
And do they let you do? Sorry, Steve.
No.
Yeah. Do they let you do your thing? I mean, do you get any blowback from that, or?
No,
Because,
actually,
some of them are quite satirical, I would imagine.
Yeah, I can, but I'm not. You know, I'm not. I'm very polite in a way. You know, I mean, kind of. Sometimes you put your finger where it hurts, which is kind of good. But because it's kind of innocent cartooning, I mean, they get to use it if they want to. If they don't, they just take the page away. You know, it's okay. But I at least I get people to think about their work, which is nice.
So, well, and your other statement is that this lets you do what you like to draw. So what do you like to draw then, if you're not doing live cartooning? Like if I come over to the house and I'm like, dude, what are you doing today? What would you be drawing?
Yeah, you know, it's 1 second.
Sure.
I have all my boxes right here.
Ooh, we always like when someone has a box. We love this.
It's about, but it's a wrong. This has kind of. I don't know if you can see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's print screen prints.
Very good.
And so I have a box full of screen prints and just some. I like small press, so I have all these.
Did you say small press or small breast?
Yeah, very small.
Okay, I wasn't
Small
sure which
press.
way you went with
Small
that. Oh, press. Okay, I'm sorry.
24
So what does
pages.
what does small press actually mean then? Is that the?
Well, it's in my case it's very tiny. But I'm actually I have kind of many different small booklets with cartoon drawings, and well, it's not commission work. It's just wait. Yeah, it's just, you know, here's an ostrich in a bed with a woman.
Oh wow, very cool.
And there's a baby, and he says, "Okay, it's not what I'm thinking. If it's not what I'm thinking, what is this?" And he's holding the baby. And well, this kind of random, or this is without words. It's a mouse trap, and he's doing some kind of
exercises. That's awesome.
Yeah. And well, yeah. So it's totally whatever comes in my mind, and I just post stuff online. And
are those little booklets, are they available commercially in your town or not?
Well, commercial. I mean, I sell them on my website in my web shop.
Yeah.
I think I got about 8, and then when Corona hit us all, and I kind of stopped publishing and I stopped performing, and it just I don't know, just all the energy went away. Right. And And now I'm thinking about publishing something like this, a little bigger. But this is not. This is a sample book. So I just decided which format and which paper I would use, and I got a publisher number, and I will do it all by myself. But it's nice to hold something in your hand.
If you need a model while you're drawing, David will volunteer, because as you can tell by his caricature in the back, he is a man among men. So he will be more than happy to strip naked. You put him on one of those lions on the floor near our fireplace, and I am sure at least 3 or 4 people will buy that book. But David will volunteer for you, not to worry. David, I don't mind giving you up like that, because I love you like a brother. So there you
go.
And
what happened to your mustache, by the way, David?
I never had one in the first place.
You never had one.
Okay, that's more the branding mustache.
Yes.
No, I don't really know how that came about, to be honest. It was sort of. Yeah. So I mean, the 2 old farts, how we started we started as a bet, because we had a marketing department who said they could do a whole load of stuff, and Steve said, "I bet you they can't. I bet you we can do it better." So we survived in the marketing department, still asleep. So. So this is, I don't quite know where that came from. Maybe that was some clip art that somebody just changed.
I think it was. I think Cheryl did that. Cheryl did our caricatures, and I don't know where she got the art, and that she just put it together for us. And it's like, here's your logo. And so we're too stupid not to know what we don't know. So we're like, sure, why not? And when we first did this, we really thought it was going to be just sort of like, we'll do a couple shows. It'll be fun just to show everybody, any idiot can get on YouTube and have a show. And now, like a year later, we're like, apparently we're the 2 idiots that are staying with this, and we're just going to keep doing this. And we enjoy it. We meet all these people from around the world, and that are fascinating to us. And they're people that you normally wouldn't meet, right? So, and it gives them a platform, like yourself, to an audience that you may not reach, even though, we only have 12 global fans. But I mean, so we give a platform to people, and we're always like, if you got a talent, come on. And some people take us up on it and others don't. So the ones that do get to tell their story and promote themselves, and, see what they can do with it. So we're enjoying, it's just a fun thing to do. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm interested. So are they, there's a lot of Dutch cartoons, but you're doing some stuff in English as well? Because obviously, all our fans are going to go out and want to buy your book, of course. So
I should consider making an English only cartoon book. I tried once with I have one in German though.
Oh, you got to have one for German. They're right around the corner.
Yeah, because actually I am German, so I kind of, but I'm practically Dutch, as you can hear. My mouth corners are kind of deafened or lazy. That. All the Dutch people, this doesn't move if they talk, And if you talk German, it kind of broadens your mouth. It's more in the front of your mouth, and so I feel like a transformer when I'm in Germany. I have to kind of, and then it takes me 2 hours, and then I'm kind of okay again. This is it's called Daseinsproblematik und Wirklichkeitsbewältigung. It's a very philosophical title.
And that just says, that means hello.
It means a lot. It's a problem of the problem of being and the reality, coping with reality.
Oh, wow.
And if German is like German book. Yeah, it is. And it's basically just crappy drawings.
Show us a crappy drawing that we're going to think is wonderful anyway, because it probably is.
Okay. This one is kind of fun to translate, because this boxer, he says, "Tooth fairy, there you are," but he's kind of, because he doesn't have any teeth anymore, he says tooth fairy, and that's fun to translate, because you have to kind of think.
Right, you have to think through it. I like that. You should make that into English, because I think people in America would buy that.
Yeah, certainly. And the UK, they love this satirical stuff.
And I recently I did one about AI, but a black and white drawing with people at a exhibition opening, and there's this guy. He's saying, "I'm done with being a poor artist. Nowadays I'm doing prompts for a living, something like that.
Right.
So he's writing AI prompts. Any well, never mind.
So let me ask you, since you brought up
Yeah.
AI, what's your thought on AI art? Have you seen some of the AI art that's out there where you give the machine a couple ideas and it draws something? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's fascinating, but I don't feel threatened at all, because
I wouldn't feel threatened, but yeah, I thought it was
no,
interesting.
it's very interesting. Yeah, it kind of yeah. I kind of got disappointed because they kind of use a database, and they use actual art, and so it's really dependent on what you feed the AI,
Right.
and that was kind of disappointing. I mean, was the real process of learning? It's doing the same trick over and over again.
Right.
So yeah, well, but it might get interesting in the near future. So
probably in about 5 or 10 years, I would think it'll be
Exactly,
one of those things where it'll be like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But right now it's sort of like, I think it's a gimmick. It's like when the elephant used to paint at the zoo, and I think it was in Africa, and they had a monkey that painted, and people would buy their painting for like $100 or $200 to say, oh, an elephant painted this, or a monkey painted this, or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's a cute thing. And I think AI right now is a cute thing. I don't know if we're going to get a Leonardo da Vinci out of it, or a Picasso, or somebody like that. But down the road, maybe, as it learns more, but not right now.
Yeah, well, I mean,
There's-
technically speaking, we're all shaved monkeys anyway, so you know.
Well, speak for yourself, sir.
I've seen a lot of very horrifying art made by AI.
The
Some
AI
kind of
stuff, yeah.
retro black and white photographs with kind of zombie faces, because, well, the AI algorithm was bad in faces. It got even more scary. It was very nightmarish.
Something
they
to
were very good.
forward to. Something to look forward to is the zombie apocalypse. AI is just predicting it. That's all. It would know. So
Yeah.
that's wild.
Now, that would be an interesting scenario, wouldn't it? Yeah. So we have the zombie apocalypse, and then we have you there as a live cartoonist making cartoons of the zombie, doing it while the zombie apocalypse is happening.
I'm still looking for new approaches. Just yesterday, I made two animations, but they're kind of it's a cooperation with somebody. She's a writer, makes absurdist kind of very tiny short stories, and they're not very long. So it's, for me, it's nice to make a drawing for every movie, and so I make very quick animations, just me drawing, and then maybe tweaking a bit so it moves, and then it's finished again. So I made about 4 of these films, but it came about because I was performing with her once, and she was reading out loud. She was reading her story, and I was drawing at the same time. And people could see the drawing evolve in the background, and the kind of, I don't know, I really like that kind of approach. So I tried it out with stand-up comedy.
Oh, okay.
We have an international comedy festival in Utrecht with a lot of different performers, and nobody wanted a cartoonist in the background except one.
All right.
Because they were all scared that it would kind of take away their control of their laughs and timing, So but it was I really
we'd love to share those little films. If you send them over to us, we'll put them up on the TikTok account and everything. We'd love to share that. That would be they're fun. Fascinating to see.
I think the last one, but the one before is kind of fun, but it's in Dutch as well. So
but it's okay. Here's the fun. If it's funny and they can get the gist of it, people will watch it because they'll enjoy it, right? So it doesn't matter. It's because even comedy, it's like if you watch like Buster Keaton from the back in the day, you may not understand what he's saying, but you laugh at what he's saying, or the Three Stooges, or any Abbott and Costello. You can watch it and know it's funny. People will be funny. But remember, some of our 12 fans are, they speak, if you will, what is it, Dutch or German, or some even speak English. It's amazing.
I have I've made another kind of animation test test case.
Right.
I tried to animate a cartoon of mine.
Okay.
With it's a mother, and she's holding a Gucci bag in front of her baby.
Right.
And she says something like Gucci, 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 and that's a very short animation.
I like that.
Yeah, and
please finish that, Dan.
You.
Please
Yeah.
finish that, so we can post
Send that to us. We'll post the heck out of that, and then
that's
we'll call
a bit more
Gucci.
international.
Yes, that's it. Or I like that. If you we'll send that. We'll post that to all our fans, and we'll send it to Gucci and see if we can get you a sponsorship. So. Because I've seen the Gucci ads, and trust me when I tell you, they're not selling crap with those ads. That would probably Gucci will probably sell them billions of dollars worth of bags to all the wannabes. That'll make money left and right. The counterfeiters will love you, and Gucci will love you. So there you go. So you got that going for you. So
this day will be a turning point in my career.
I'm telling you, listen, our expectations are really low. So anything that happens above anything that you were really thinking is positive. So there you go.
Yeah. No, but on the plus side, of course, Dan, you're also enhancing our careers. I mean, where else would we have found you to talk to and find out about the stuff you're doing? Right. I mean, that's It's, we love doing this just for this reason, but. So a little bit about you then, right? Let's wind the clock a little bit further back. A Dutch lady involved, I suppose, somewhere along the line.
For me, coming to Holland.
Yes.
Or no. Well,
you go back as far as you want.
Yeah, no, it was 1988, and 1988 was I was 10 years old, and my mother, she lived in Maastricht. So my parents were divorced, so I kind of moved to Holland, and I started doing school here, like like you're supposed to, and that's And so in the beginning, my mother, she had an Irish boyfriend, and so I talked German at home with my mother, and there was a lot of English, and and at the same time I was learning Dutch, so it was kind of I kind of plunged into the language at that time.
Yeah.
And I lived here ever since. So I never expected to go back. I mean, I thought I would go back before my 30th year, but I never did. So I guess I like it here too much.
There you go.
So you're still a German national then, Dan, or a Dutch passport?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. And it's kind of
it makes any difference.
Yeah, well, actually it does, because when you have to kind of nationalize, or you have to kind of you lose a part of your history. I mean, I would love to have both, no problem. I would love to have a Dutch passport, but I don't want to give up my German passport because it doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I'm European, so why should I? And I guess it will stay like this. It depends on. I think if you're American, you can easily have another.
We can have dual citizenship or dual passports.
Exactly. Yeah,
we can. Well, there's some countries. Singapore will not let you. Singapore is like you're either Singaporean passport or you're not. In America, people will be like, "Oh, I've got not like." Well, I guess Dubai sells them now, or they went and they got a golden visa. They have a Spain, they have a Portugal, they have whatever, yada yada yada, so they can travel and do whatever. So when they're traveling, and people hate Americans that week, they just travel with their other passport, or a Caribbean passport, which I always find hysterical when I see an American like, I've got one from Saint wherever, and I'm like, seriously, what is it? Population is 7 people, but that's whatever floats your boat to make you feel better when you travel, I guess is good.
And I've seen. Well, technically, it was possible to have about 10 or 12 nationalities.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure now
where you were born, of course. Yeah. And some nationalities can be bought as well, and some can be earned by doing certain things. And
that's what they call the golden visas and golden passports. You put enough money into a country, they're like, we like you. Here's a check. Cyprus is very well known for that. So a lot of Russians got their passports in Cyprus because of that.
It's just one thing I really don't like it because of the national elections. I can't vote.
Right.
So but I could in Germany, but it doesn't really make sense because I live here. So
Yeah.
I would like that to change one day, but I probably will never change.
You never say never. It's it's the
Yeah,
world
exactly.
constantly keeps changing and doing stuff. So let me ask you this: if somebody sees
Mhm.
your art and likes it, whether it's a comedian and they have to
Yeah.
have balls to hire you because they'd be afraid, right? So first of all, do you remember the comedian's name that said you can draw for them?
Yeah.
And then the other question is, if somebody wants to hire you and they're not in the Netherlands, if they pay for you to go to wherever, can you do
Yeah.
it that way or can you do it via Zoom? So like how can
Yeah,
people,
I
if they
did.
want you to do corporate art for them, how does
Yeah.
that work?
Well, actually, I did some more international stuff via Zoom, or also I was invited once for some kind of visualization in some kind of North European. I never heard of the combination. It was kind of a NGO thing, but I thought it was spam at first, by the way, but yeah, I mean, it's possible because I'm fluent in German, and I can also understand a bit of French and English and Swiss German as well. And I mean, bring it on. If it's sometimes, well, a lot of those business meetings are in English, or
Right.
even though maybe 80% of the people are Dutch, they kind of sometimes they prefer speaking English because there are two people from abroad, or they're. I did a few transnational companies as well.
Very cool.
So it's possible. Yeah. That will be one of my my wishes for this year, to maybe do a few more things in Germany, perhaps. But I don't have an opening yet. But I know this live cartooning. It's something a lot of comic artists in Holland they are kind of doing next to their art, because it's a way of earning money. Yeah? You can do commission work, or you can do this, and but the comics themselves, how do you call it? You don't sell a lot of comics at the moment.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. So you have to make a living with other art. Yeah.
So now this comic book that you're thinking about doing, or that you will do,
Yeah.
now, what's that process like? Did you at least start it, or like you said, you picked the paper? Do you have the cartoons in your mind? So when will that come out?
Yeah, it's in this kind of in this. It's only I did maybe every day. I try to make a cartoon, so I have a lot of cartoons lying there. I just have to choose, and maybe I will skip the COVID cartoons because they don't make sense anymore, or a few political cartoons. But I'm striving to make something between 88 or 100 pages, so it kind of has some weight,
Right. Do you self-publish? Were you self-published then, or was there a publisher that will publish it for you?
Yeah, I like to have my own control, so I will self-publish it, and because it's kind of, for me, it's a different kind of also promotion. When I do some work, I can also hand over my my comic book, for example, or and it's very easy nowadays to self-publish.
Yeah. We had a lady on a couple months ago, Mel Hartz, and she self-published, and she did a fairy tale, which was very cool. We got to read it, and she did all the illustration. So I was going to say, when your comic book's done, you should come back and we can just tell the world about it and show it to them and see, how many of our tens of fans will buy it. So,
well, if I have my English book, huh?
Well, you know what? Like I said, it doesn't matter what the language is. If people like the pictures, they'll buy it. So, at the end of the day, they don't have to get the joke. They just say, "Oh, it's pretty," or "I like it," and I think that's a big thing.
Is that more of an issue for you, Dan, to make a visual joke then, and not to add text to it? Because just the visual jokes will be international. You put Dutch text to it, and Steve doesn't read it.
That's also. I mean, in a way, that's a nice thing to strive for, to have something that speaks for itself. It's I like when it happens, but I'm also very I don't really consider myself a visual thinker. I mostly think in words. And I'm very conscious about what people are actually saying. So a lot of word games happen, or a lot of, it's a lot of text. And I'm always kind of trying to cut away the text, skipping words and trying to shorten it, to condense it to something more sparkling, At its best, you can skip the whole text.
Right.
Maybe you don't need a caption, and it's better. Yeah.
Well,
Sometimes
it would be very cool if down the road, the lady that you illustrated, the girl that you did a show with, where she talked and you were drawing. If you two want to come back and do that, that would be awesome. I think for the audience to see her reading, even if it's in Dutch, it's okay. But her reading and you drawing, just to get a sense of how you do what you do. And I think that would help people get an idea of like, oh, that's really cool, because little cartoon books are cool, but I think if they see it, it's different. Like, hopefully you'll send us the short on the Gucci, because I think that'll give people an idea of what you do and how you do it. And I think that will get you out there a lot more.
Yeah. Wait for them to go bang.
Yeah, it's also a very different thing. There's a lot of, if you kind of, if I'm performing with drawing, you have to kind of rethink what you're doing, because people are watching you, and you're easily doing stuff that you wouldn't do normally. So I did a performance once with another writer, and Bernhard, the woman's Sylvia Hubers, by the way, and Bernhard Christiansen is a German writer who also writes in Dutch. And he made a text, and I made a film about 7 minutes about his text, and then we started performing it. I had to kind of reconsider all the layers and everything. So I prepared a file with different layers, and some of them given me hooks, so to make a drawing on. So it was very orchestrated. I really had to keep my mind in there and activating layers, and then drawing from there on, or taking layers away, to make it a little more quick and more dynamic, because otherwise you always have a white page and you just start making a new drawing, and it takes a lot of time. So if you want to speed up things, you have to kind of reorganize what you're about to do. It was a very interesting process. Unfortunately, we only had to do it once, because they just asked us one time. But it was in a way it was a success, because it gives another layer to the text. But
I like
it's also
the way
less
you just threw into that, like, I made this 7-minute film, as if like you did it just in your lunchtime or something. I mean, what did it entail? I mean, how are you building this film?
Well, because I'm thinking about my live drawing, I try to find a way that it doesn't eat my. It has to be spontaneous. So I read the text, and then I kind of see if I have some images, and then I have the recording of the writer. I put on the recording, and then I start making the first drawing, my first idea. And then I kind of, when I feel like editing, I make a cut or do something else. And then I make a new drawing. And so I'm kind of doing the film as we go along. So it kind of has a spontaneous feel.
What are you using? Is this all electronic then that you're doing? Special software for that?
Yeah, I work with, I draw a lot in Procreate. For my drawing, and sometimes in another program. It doesn't really matter. And I use screen recording sometimes. So it's kind of, I'm trying to make animation movies without really animating.
Very cool.
So so and in that way it's also saves me time, and I'm kind of getting used to the kind of how to process a story, or how to kind of it's just it's about game rules, I'm just setting a new set of rules for myself, and then I go for it. because otherwise it will be a 7-minute film. It's quite long. It has a lot of work in it. That doesn't mean that this didn't really. I mean, it really took me about 1 or 2 weeks. After all, it was kind of long, but it was much less than a real animation production. So,
Very cool.
yeah. But then and I just realized, because the time is flying, I also have my instruments, which is kind of, you didn't see that on LinkedIn.
No, you're a musician. It does say you're a musician. So tell us about you being a musician, what that's all about.
Well, because I mentioned that there was a link between the improvisation part.
Right.
Before COVID, I used to perform a lot more. But I'm one of the few Jews harp specialists in Holland.
Ah, very nice.
So I have a whole. I always have a whole suitcase somewhere nearby.
So now, can you play a little something so people can see your talent or hear your talent if you're on the podcast, because they wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh wow!
That is very cool.
I think we have to get down to do our new intro for us, Steve.
I think that's the intro. And if you can get a guy playing a banjo, you got Deliverance all over again. I like it.
Yeah.
So
I have a banjo here as well, by the way.
I like
course.
it.
It's
He's a
Of course, he
musician.
of course, he has a banjo. Who doesn't?
Yeah, it's a 3-string banjo. I kind of I modified it, so you can maybe you can.
Yeah, we can see.
Because,
Dan,
you can see,
why?
Yeah,
Why?
right.
Why did you
Because
modify it?
the distance between the strings was very tight,
Right.
and like this, it's easier and it's less strings, so that kind of makes sense to me.
So can you play something on the banjo?
Okay, I'll try something. I kind of incorporate a lot of. You might have heard that the Jews harp. It's kind of a synthesizer.
Okay.
Pocket synthesizer, because your mouth is kind of your oral cavity is kind of shaping with vowels, and your throat and your tongue.
Right.
They're all making overtones, and so you're playing with rhythms and overtones.
Right.
And so I also took a dive into throat singing and into yodeling.
Okay.
So it's a big mashup. I also do live loops and everything. So so I never played the banjo, but because of COVID, I was at home and I had to learn something. So
Right.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Anyway, etc. But it's
very nice. Very good. Beauty.
Absolutely, Dan. Come on, man.
That was awesome. That was great. Not only did we get art today, but we got live music. So we don't have to get that. That's very cool.
Yeah, just a snippet. Yeah, it's.
I do think we're going to have to ask you to do the intro music for the shows now.
That we have to have like a whole concert now. What are you kidding? We got to have them come back and do like a whole hour concert. So
yeah. So I'm always looking for new sounds to incorporate, and and it's a lot of fun. I hope this year finally there will be a little more performances. But
Very
it
cool.
just
Well,
doesn't-
hopefully this will help.
yeah.
Hopefully,
doesn't-
hopefully this will get you out.
Yeah, it really doesn't just doesn't come flying towards you
Right.
like a chicken out of the oven, you know, flying. No, you have to do something yourself, you know. And I was so busy with my cartooning the last few years because it was
Right.
not possible doing any music, so I kind of stopped. And now I've had a few performances again, and it was very, very fun. And
Very cool.
kind of it starts tickling again.
That's you got the itch to go back and perform.
Yeah, itching. It's itching. Yeah.
That is very, very cool. Well, you're very talented. So, and we did mean what we said. If you want to send the Gucci clip, I'm sure the fans that are listening are, or I should say, watching. The people that are listening, they're SOL. They actually have to go to YouTube or they go to our
Yeah.
website. But I think our fans would love to see that because I think that's probably hysterical, and I think they would love it. And then anything else you would want them to see or
I think
whatever.
it's about 7 or 9 seconds or something, but it's
That
fun.
can I tell you? That's my whole love life, by the way. 7 or 9
Oh, yeah.
seconds. So we're good. I can make love to the wife and watch the video at the same time and be done equally. So
yeah.
it's perfect. So it's perfect. So, but yeah, but I mean, I think our I think our fans would love to see it. And then we'll just make fun of Gucci and let them come get you and give you a job, and you can have them go Gucci in all their stores. It'll be perfect. And then and then if that young lady wants to come on and read while you draw, we would love to have that too. I think that'd be fascinating for people to see the process.
Yeah, that's what we've found through all the things we've done. People love all the TikTok stuff. People like the art. I would say this every show. People like the art, but what they really like is the process. They like to see that you're doing it. You know, that's probably the reason why cooking shows are so successful. People like to see the process.
And that's maybe one of the things. I used to play in a band, and we always, like every band, we always played the same songs over and over again.
Right.
In a way, I still miss that because we don't really play anymore. Yeah? But it's a totally different concept than improvising. And when you improvise, you always have a new song, and it's always fresh. Like a Japanese cook in front of you. It's all fresh, prepared sounds, and that's why I always go to concerts unprepared, because you never know what will happen.
It's kind of how we do our show. The same way. Exactly. We come to our show unprepared. It's perfect.
But it's also the process, because it's always exciting, because the artist has to work extra hard to make it happen at that moment. And that's that kind of keeps it exciting. I'm very happy that I've never had a hit in my life, and I don't have to overdo it.
Yeah, but see, now you're gonna have hits because you're on this show. And like I said, with all our fans, they're going to make you an international sensation, at least in 2 countries. Yeah, I know. Now you will be able to walk down the street. People are like, I know you. I saw you on that show. You'll be like, yes. You'll be like, calm down. I'll give you an autograph.
I've had it one time that a guy saw me. You're Danibal. Yeah. Can my girlfriend give you a hand? A handshake. I mean, sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wow. I got a bit excited. I thought this was going. Yeah, this is going somewhere. I was like, "Whoa, tell me more."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to switch off the sound, Stephen. So I was so shocked.
No, I was going to switch it off. I was turning it up and asking for video. What are you kidding? So.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I can easily beep out the words. No.
Yeah.
No, but it was I kind of. Well, it was not really annoying, but it was also like, oh dear. I mean, if you have that every day, it would be so annoying. And I mean, it's very good not to be a public property.
Yeah. I will also tell you, if you ever get that famous, remember the first time somebody meets you is the first time they're meeting you. For you, it's the 100th time. So you always got to treat it like it's the first time for you.
Oh, yeah.
If not, all you need is one fan to go, "This guy's an ass." And it kills you. So you never want that. When they meet us, they already know we're asses. They've listened to all the shows. They bump into us, we're like, just piss off. And they're like, all right, fine. He told me to piss off. They're very excited about that. But for you, you're not at the age yet where you can get away with that. So once you hit 40, though, you can tell them to piss off. Then it's okay. So.
Well,
I was thinking about how old he is. So
Yeah, exactly. I'm more than 40. Yeah.
yes, we know. We're aware. We could do the math
Okay.
from when you were born in 78. So yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not going to say I can't. You got to say something. But you look like you're 14, so that's a good thing. Where David,
Oh,
on
yeah.
the other hand, is 14 and he looks older. So it's just genetics. That's the way it works.
Yeah.
So
You start to get younger as you get older in your head, I think.
there you
Well,
go.
time is beating us again on the show,
I know,
guys.
yeah.
So
So stay with us until this is over, Daniel, and then we'll go over a few things. This is our exit music. This puts people to sleep. And then right before you fall asleep, there's some really heavy metal stuff. And then David speaks, and then we all nod off, and then we come back. It's very exciting. But stay with us for a few seconds, and we'll clean up everything. Everybody, thank you for listening. And we'll see you, I guess, next time we see you all. And don't forget, as David likes to say, subscribe and like. Welcome to season 2. I don't know what else to really say, Dave. That's it. Oh, good. It's the good stuff now.
Well, sadly, this is the end of today's show. A really big thank you to everyone who contributed today to the show. And of course, thank you to my co-host, Stephen Oldfart. I'm David Oldfart. Don't forget, subscribe to the show and get all the latest updates from Two Old Farts Making Noises.